It's midnight when I hear my wife Jenna's voice cut through the darkness like a blade. I'm sprawled under my beat-up Honda in the driveway, wrench in hand, oil stains decorating my shirt like abstract art. The engine's been making that grinding noise again, the kind that screams expensive repair in a language I can't afford to speak. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. I'm here for the house, nothing else, Jenna hisses into her phone, her voice carrying through the cracked kitchen window. The marriage is over, but I'm not walking away empty-handed. My grip tightens on the wrench. 22 years of marriage, and she talks about our home like it's a prize at the county fair. I slide my phone from my pocket, hit record, and let her words flow into digital permanence. Miles doesn't suspect anything, she continues. He's too busy playing with his cars and drowning in his accounting spreadsheets. By the time he figures it out, I'll have everything locked down legally. I close my eyes and let the cold concrete seep through my shirt. Miles Patterson, 45 years old, certified public accountant for Henderson & Associates, married to a woman who apparently sees me as an obstacle to overcome rather than a husband to love. Eddie's been patient, but we need to move faster. Jenna's voice drops to a whisper. Your brother knows people at the courthouse, right? We need to make sure the divorce papers are ironclad. Eddie. The name hits me like a sucker punch. Eddie Morrison, the smooth-talking car dealer who's been sniffing around our social circle for months. The same Eddie who helped Jenna pick out her new BMW, who always seems to show up at neighborhood barbecues with that practiced smile and expensive cologne. And apparently, he's been picking out more than just cars. I slide out from under the Honda, oil-stained and furious. The phone keeps recording as Jenna's conversation shifts to logistics, meeting times, lawyer consultations, asset evaluations. She's dissecting our life together with the clinical precision of a surgeon removing a tumor. The front door opens, spilling yellow light across the driveway. Jenna appears in her silk robe, phone pressed to her ear. She sees me and freezes. I'll call you back, she says quickly, ending the call. Car trouble again? She asks, her voice suddenly sweet as artificial honey. Nothing I can't handle, I reply, wiping my hands on an old rag. The phone in my pocket feels like it's burning a hole through the fabric. Who is on the phone this late? Just Sarah from the office. We're working on the Henderson merger. The lie rolls off her tongue so smoothly I almost believe it myself. Sarah Martinez has been Jenna's paralegal for 8 years. I know her voice, and that definitely wasn't Sarah on the phone. Big merger, I say, matching her fake smile with one of my own. Must be keeping you busy. You know how it is in corporate law, the work never stops. She turns toward the house, then pauses. By the way, we need to talk tomorrow, about us, about our future. The words hang in the air like smoke. I nod, still smiling, still pretending I don't know that she's already planned our entire future without consulting me. Looking forward to it, I lie. She disappears into the house, leaving me alone with my broken car and my broken marriage. I pull out my phone and stop the recording. 43 minutes of pure, unfiltered betrayal, saved in digital clarity. My hands are shaking as I scroll through my contacts and find my lawyer's number. Tom Bradley has been handling my business accounts for years, but I know he does family law too. It's almost 1 a.m, but this can't wait. I send him a text. Tom, need to see you ASAP. Family matter. It's urgent. The response comes faster than I expected. Office at 8 a.m. Bring whatever you've got. I look up at our house, the house Jenna thinks she's going to steal from me. The windows glow warmly, but there's no warmth left inside for me. 22 years of marriage, and I'm about to become a stranger in my own home. But Jenna made one crucial mistake tonight. She underestimated the man she married. I might be just an accountant who fixes his own car, but I know how to fight dirty when I need to. And after tonight, I definitely need to. The next morning arrives with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. I'm nursing my 3rd cup of coffee when Jenna's brother Rick shows up at our front door, uninvited and unwelcome as always. Rick Hartwell is everything I'm not. 6'2", broad shoulders, expensive suits, and the kind of confidence that comes from never having to work for anything in his life. He inherited his father's construction company and has been coasting on other people's labor ever since. Morning, Miles, he says, pushing past me into the house like he owns it. Jenna around? She's getting ready for work, I reply, closing the door harder than necessary. Coffee? Nah, I'm good. He surveys our living room with the critical eye of someone appraising property. Nice place you've got here. Must be worth what, $450? $500? The question isn't casual curiosity. It's reconnaissance. Something like that, I say carefully. Jenna appears at the top of the stairs, dressed in her power suit and war paint makeup. She lights up when she sees her brother, the same way she used to light up when she saw me. "Rick, what brings you by?" "Just wanted to check on my favorite sister," he says, giving her a hug that lasts too long and feels too intimate for siblings. They've always been close, maybe too close. Rick has been Jenna's champion and protector since childhood, and he's never thought I was good enough for her. The feeling is mutual. "Miles, you don't mind if Rick and I grab breakfast, do you?" Jenna asks. It's phrased as a question, but her tone makes it clear she's not really asking. "Of course not," I say. "I've got work anyway," Rick smirks. "Still pushing papers at Henderson's? Man, I don't know how you do it. Sitting in an office all day, dealing with other people's money problems, I'd go crazy." "It's honest work," I reply evenly. Sure, honest work." He says it like the words taste bad. "But when's the last time you built something with your hands? Created something that lasts?" I think about the recording on my phone, about the legal case I'm building brick by brick. "I'm working on a project right now, actually, something that's going to last a very long time." Jenna shoots me a curious look, but Rick just laughs. "That's great, buddy. Really great." They leave together, Rick's arm around Jenna's shoulders like a possessive boyfriend. I watch from the window as he opens her car door, whispers something in her ear that makes her laugh, and kisses her cheek goodbye. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." I screenshot the message and forward it to Tom Bradley. Then I do exactly what the text warns me not to do. I start digging deeper. The first stop is Eddie Morrison's car lot on the east side of town. Morrison Motors sits on a corner lot, all flashing lights and colorful banners promising deals, deals, deals. It's the kind of place that screams desperation and preys on people who can't afford better options. I park across the street and watch through binoculars I borrowed from my neighbor's garage. Eddie is exactly what I expected. Mid-40s, artificially white teeth, and a handshake that probably comes with a hidden agenda. He's showing a red convertible to a young couple, his sales pitch animated and enthusiastic. But every few minutes, he checks his phone, and each time he does, he smiles like a man with a secret. At 11:30, Jenna's BMW pulls into the lot. My wife gets out of her car and walks straight to Eddie like she belongs there. He greets her with a kiss that's definitely not business-related, his hands lingering on her waist in a way that makes my stomach turn. They disappear into his office, and I don't need binoculars to imagine what's happening behind those tinted windows. I'm about to leave when Rick's pickup truck pulls into the lot. He gets out and heads straight for Eddie's office, walking like a man on a mission. This isn't a coincidence. This is a conspiracy. My phone rings, and Tom Bradley's name appears on the screen. "Miles, I listened to that recording you sent me," he says without preamble. "We need to talk. Now." "I'm a little busy right now." "Drop whatever you're doing and get to my office. What you've stumbled into is bigger than a simple divorce case." The urgency in his voice cuts through my surveillance mission. I take one last look at the car lot, memorizing license plates and taking photos of everyone coming and going. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Tom in his cluttered office, watching him pace behind his desk like a caged animal. "Miles, how long have you known me?" he asks. 8 years, maybe 9. "And in all that time, have I ever steered you wrong?" "No." "Then listen to me very carefully. Your wife isn't just cheating on you, she's planning to destroy you." He slides a manila folder across his desk. Inside are photocopies of legal documents, bank statements, and property assessments. "She filed preliminary divorce papers 3 weeks ago," Tom explains. "She's claiming emotional abuse, financial neglect, and irreconcilable differences. She's asking for the house, half your retirement fund, and permanent alimony." The words hit me like physical blows. On what grounds? "She's got witnesses lined up to testify about your erratic behavior and financial irresponsibility. She's documented every argument you've had in the last 2 years, every time you've raised your voice, every purchase she considers frivolous." I think about my car repairs, my occasional beer with the guys, the fishing equipment I bought last summer. Suddenly, they all look like evidence in a case I didn't know was being built against me. "There's more," Tom continues. "Rick Hartwell has been asking around about your business, trying to find dirt on your accounting practices. And Eddie Morrison has been spreading rumors about your mental health." "My mental health?" "He's been telling people you've been acting paranoid, following your wife, making threats. He's building a narrative that paints you as unstable and potentially dangerous." The pieces fall into place like dominoes. The mysterious text message, Rick's sudden interest in our house's value, Jenna's late-night phone calls. They're not just stealing my wife, they're stealing my entire life. "What do?" I ask. Tom's smile is sharp as a blade. We fight back, and thanks to that recording, we've got ammunition they don't know about. The betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from people you trusted. I learned this lesson the hard way when I meet my old friend Dave Peterson for lunch at Murphy's Deli, our usual spot for 20 years. Dave and I have been friends since college. We were each other's best men, godparents to each other's kids, and partners in countless weekend fishing trips. If anyone would have my back during this mess, it should be Dave. You look like hell, Miles, he says as I slide into our usual booth. Thanks. You always know just what to say to make a guy feel better. Dave doesn't laugh at my joke. Instead, he fidgets with his napkin and avoids eye contact. The warning bells in my head start ringing immediately. So, he says carefully, Jenna called Lisa yesterday. Lisa is Dave's wife, and she's been friends with Jenna since our wives met at a PTA meeting 15 years ago. They do book clubs, wine tastings, and all those other activities that seem designed to give married women an excuse to complain about their husbands. What did she want? I ask, though I'm pretty sure I already know. She's worried about you, Miles. She says you've been acting strange lately, paranoid, following her around, going through her things. The lies are so perfectly crafted I almost admire their artistry. Almost. And you believe her? Dave finally meets my eyes, and what I see there breaks something inside me. Pity. He's looking at me like I'm a wounded animal that might need to be put down for its own good. I've known you for 25 years, he says slowly. You're my best friend. But lately, I don't know, man. You seem different, angry all the time. Lisa says Jenna is scared of you. Scared of me? The words come out louder than I intended, and several other diners turn to look. I lower my voice. Dave, she's cheating on me. With Eddie Morrison, I have proof. Miles, come on. Eddie Morrison? The car dealer? Why would Jenna? Because she wants to take everything I have. The house, my retirement, everything we built together. Dave leans back in his seat, and I can see him mentally cataloging my words, my tone, my body language. He's looking for signs of the mental instability that Jenna and her conspirators have been planting in everyone's minds. Have you been sleeping? He asks. You look exhausted. I'm fine. When's the last time you saw a doctor? Maybe talked to someone? I don't need a shrink, Dave. I need a friend who believes me. The silence stretches between us like a chasm. Finally, Dave sighs and pulls out his wallet. Maybe you should take some time off work. Get some rest. Work on your marriage. My marriage is over. It doesn't have to be. Couples therapy, maybe some medication for the stress. I stand up so fast my chair scrapes against the floor. Forget it. Miles, wait. But I'm already walking away, leaving my oldest friend sitting in our booth with a confused expression and a half-eaten sandwich. The next betrayal comes from my neighbor, Janet Morrison. No relation to Eddie, just one of those coincidences that life throws at you when you're already down. Janet has lived next door for 12 years. We've borrowed tools, shared holiday cookies, and helped each other with yard work. Her husband gone 3 years ago, and I've been the one who shovels her driveway in winter and fixes her leaky faucets. I'm checking my mailbox when she approaches, her usual friendly smile replaced by something colder. Hello, Miles. Hey, Janet, how are you holding up? I'm fine, but I'm worried about you and Jenna. Here we go again. We're working through some things, I say diplomatically. She came by yesterday. She was crying. Janet's voice carries the tone of someone delivering bad news. She said you've been drinking more, staying out late, acting suspicious. Another perfectly crafted lie. I haven't had more than 2 beers in a single evening in months, and the only place I've been staying late is the office, trying to make sense of our finances before Jenna's lawyers get their hands on them. She's scared, Miles. She asked if she could stay in my guest room if things got worse. The manipulation is breathtaking. Jenna is positioning herself as the victim while simultaneously poisoning every relationship I have. By the time she's done, I'll be completely isolated, with no one to corroborate my side of the story. Janet, I would never hurt Jenna. You know me better than that. I thought I did. But people change when they're under pressure, and you've been under a lot of pressure lately. What's that supposed to mean? Your job, your marriage, your drinking. I don't have a drinking problem. My raised voice makes her take a step back, and I can see her mentally adding this interaction to whatever file she's building about my deteriorating mental state. I'm sorry, she says quietly. I didn't mean to upset you. But the damage is done. Another ally lost, another witness for Jenna's narrative. That evening, I get a call from my brother-in-law's business partner, Frank Kowalski. Frank and I have always gotten along well. He's the one who actually runs Rick's construction company while Rick plays golf and takes credit for other people's work. "Miles, we need to talk," Frank says. "Can you meet me at Hannigan's Bar?" Hannigan's is a blue-collar dive where construction workers and mechanics go to forget their troubles. It's dark, loud, and perfect for conversations you don't want overheard. I find Frank in a corner booth, nursing a beer and looking uncomfortable. "Thanks for coming," he says as I sit down. "What's this about, Frank?" He takes a long drink before answering. "Rick's been asking questions about you, about your business, your finances, your mental health." "My mental health seems to be a popular topic lately." "He wanted me to dig up dirt on your accounting firm, see if you've been skimming money or cooking books." The accusation hits me like a physical blow. "And what did you tell him?" "I told him to go to hell." Frank's smile is grim. "But Miles, he's not going to stop. Whatever's going on between you and Jenna, Rick is taking it personally." "It's not between me and Jenna anymore. She's got a whole team working against me." "I figured as much. That's why I'm warning you." Frank finishes his beer and stands up. "Oh, watch your back. Rick's got connections all over this town, and he's not above playing dirty." As Frank leaves, I'm left alone with my thoughts and a growing sense of isolation. My best friend thinks I'm having a breakdown. My neighbor thinks I'm dangerous. My wife's brother is actively trying to sabotage my career. But they've made one crucial mistake. They think I'm weak. They think I'll just roll over and let them destroy me. They're about to learn otherwise. The showdown happens on a Tuesday evening at Dave Peterson's backyard barbecue. It's supposed to be a casual neighborhood gathering, but I know it's really an intervention disguised as a social event. I almost don't go. Sitting in my car outside Dave's house, I can see through the backyard gate. All the usual suspects are there: Dave and Lisa, Janet from next door, Rick and his wife Carmen, and even Eddie Morrison, playing the role of concerned friend with Academy Award-worthy commitment. Jenna is there too, of course, playing the part of the worried wife seeking support from friends. She's wearing her blue sundress, the one I bought her for our anniversary 3 years ago. The irony isn't lost on me. I could drive away, go home, pack a bag, and let them have their little conspiracy meeting without me. But running away isn't going to solve anything, and I'm tired of being the victim in their narrative. I get out of the car and walk through the gate like I'm entering a battlefield. The conversation stops when I appear. 8 pairs of eyes turn toward me with expressions ranging from pity to suspicion to outright hostility. "Miles?" Dave's enthusiasm sounds forced. "Glad you could make it. Beer?" "Sure." I accept the bottle and survey the group. Nice turnout. Feels like old times. "We were just talking about you," Rick says with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "All good things, I hope." "We're worried about you, buddy," Eddie chimes in. His voice oozes false sincerity. "Jenna's been telling us you've been under a lot of stress lately." I take a long drink of beer and let the silence stretch. These people think they know me, think they can predict how I'll react. They're expecting me to get defensive, to lose my temper, to prove their point about my unstable mental state. Instead, I smile. "You know what's funny about stress?" I say conversationally. "It really clarifies things. Helps you see who your real friends are." Lisa Peterson shifts uncomfortably. "Miles, we're all your friends here. We want to help." "Help with what, exactly?" "Your marriage," Janet says gently. "Jenna loves you, but she's scared. She thinks you might hurt yourself, or her." "Hurt her?" I laugh, and the sound is sharp enough to cut glass. That's interesting, because I've never laid a hand on my wife in 22 years of marriage. Never even raised my voice to her until recently. "People change," Rick says coldly. "Pressure can make a man do things he never thought he'd do." "You're absolutely right, Rick. Pressure can make people do terrible things." I pull out my phone and hold it up. Like having affairs, or conspiring to steal someone's house, or spreading lies about their mental health. The group exchanges glances. Jenna's face has gone pale. "Miles," Dave says carefully. "Maybe you should sit down." "I'm fine standing, thanks. In fact, I'm feeling better than I have in months. Want to know why?" No one answers, but I continue anyway. Because I finally understand what's been happening. See, I thought my wife was just cheating on me. Simple adultery, the kind of thing that happens to millions of marriages every year. But this is so much more creative than that. I walk over to where Jenna is sitting, and she instinctively shrinks back. The gesture is perfectly calculated, the frightened wife recoiling from her unstable husband. "Tell them about the recording, Jenna." Her eyes widen. "What recording?" "The one where you tell your lover that you're here for the house. The one where you discuss strategy with your co-conspirators. The one where you plan my complete destruction. Eddie stands up, his friendly mask slipping. You're talking crazy, Miles. Am I? Let's see. I scroll through my phone until I find the audio file. Should I play it for everyone? Let them hear what you really think of me? Miles, stop, Jenna whispers. Stop what? Telling the truth? Defending myself against your lies? You're scaring everyone, Lisa says. Good. They should be scared. Because if you can do this to me, you can do it to anyone. You've turned my friends against me, poisoned my neighbors, and tried to destroy my reputation. Also, you can steal my house and run off with a sleazy car dealer. Rick stands up, his hands clenched into fists. That's enough. Is it? Because I'm just getting started. I turn to face the group. How many of you knew? How many of you were in on this from the beginning? There's no conspiracy, Miles, Dave says. You're having some kind of breakdown. I'm having a breakdown? I laugh again. Dave, your best friend's wife has been planning to destroy him for months, and you think I'm the one with problems. You followed her, Eddie accuses. You've been stalking her, going through her things, acting like a psychopath. I investigated my cheating wife. That's what any rational person would do. Rational people don't threaten their wives, Rick snarls. When did I threaten her? The text message? What text message? Rick realizes his mistake too late. The one where you said... I never sent any text messages, Rick, but someone sent one to me, warning me to stop digging. Want to guess who that was? The silence is deafening. I've caught them in their own web of lies, and they know it. You're all pathetic, I say quietly. 20 years of friendship, and you threw it away for what? Because a pretty woman told you some sob story about her crazy husband? Miles, please, Jenna says, tears streaming down her face. Can we just go home and talk about this? Home? I turn to face her fully. You mean the house you're trying to steal from me? The house you've already divided up in your head? I never said... You said you were here for the house, nothing else. I have it recorded, Jenna. Every word. The tears are real now, but I'm beyond caring. She's cried before. When she wanted a new car, when she wanted to redecorate the kitchen, when she wanted me to take a job I hated so she could quit working. Jenna's tears are just another weapon in her arsenal. I want a divorce, she whispers. I know. You filed the papers 3 weeks ago. More shocked silence. They thought they were so clever, so careful, but I've been 3 steps ahead of them since the night I recorded that phone call. The difference is, I continue, you're not getting the house, you're not getting my retirement fund, and you're definitely not getting any sympathy from me. I finish my beer and set the empty bottle on Dave's patio table. Enjoy your party, I say. I hope you all remember this conversation when your own marriages start falling apart. Because if it can happen to me, it can happen to any of you. I walk toward the gate, but Rick's voice stops me. You think you're so smart, don't you? I turn around. Smarter than you gave me credit for. This isn't over. You're right, it's not. But when it is, you're going to wish you'd stayed out of it. The threat hangs in the air as I walk away, leaving behind 20 years of friendship and the last remnants of my old life. But I'm not walking away defeated. I'm walking away armed with the truth, and that's more dangerous than they could possibly imagine. 3 weeks later, I'm sitting in Judge Margaret Thornton's courtroom, watching my wife's legal strategy crumble like a house of cards in a hurricane. Tom Bradley is worth every penny I'm paying him. He's methodically destroying Jenna's case with the precision of a surgeon and the ruthlessness of a shark. Your Honor, Tom says, standing at the plaintiff's table, I'd like to enter into evidence a recording made by my client on the evening of March 15th. Jenna's lawyer, a sharp-dressed woman named Patricia Vance, objects immediately. Your Honor, we weren't notified of any recordings. The recording was made legally. In my client's own home, Tom interrupts. Illinois is a one-party consent state. Mr. Patterson had every right to record conversations in his own house. Judge Thornton, a stern woman in her 60s, nods. I'll allow it. Play the recording. The courtroom fills with the sound of Jenna's voice from that night 3 weeks ago. I'm here for the house, nothing else. The marriage is over, but I'm not walking away empty-handed. I watch Jenna's face as her own words condemn her. The color drains from her cheeks, and she whispers something urgent to her lawyer. But Tom isn't finished. He plays the entire 43-minute recording, including the parts where Jenna discusses hiding assets, manipulating witnesses, and coordinating with Rick to undermine my business reputation. Furthermore, Your Honor, Tom continues, we have evidence that Mrs. Patterson has been conducting an extramarital affair with one Edward Morrison, and that she has been systematically poisoning my client's relationships with friends and neighbors in order to isolate him and support her claims of mental instability. He produces a thick folder of evidence, photographs of Jenna and Eddie together, bank records showing suspicious expenditures, and sworn affidavits from 3 witnesses who can testify to the conspiracy against me. Patricia Vance tries to salvage her case, but it's like trying to stop a dam break with a Band-Aid. Every argument she makes is countered by documented evidence of her client's deception. "Your Honor," she says desperately, "my client maintains that Mr. Patterson has been exhibiting erratic and potentially dangerous behavior." "Based on what evidence?" Judge Thornton asks sharply. "Witness testimony from friends and neighbors. Witnesses who were systematically lied to by Mrs. Patterson," Tom interjects. "We have documentation showing that Mrs. Patterson deliberately spread false information about my client's mental health, his drinking habits, and his behavior toward her." I glance over at Jenna. She's crying now, but these aren't the calculated tears she used at Dave's barbecue. These are the tears of someone watching their carefully constructed world collapse. Rick is sitting in the gallery behind her, his face red with anger and frustration. Eddie Morrison is nowhere to be seen. He disappeared from town 2 days after I served him with a subpoena. Judge Thornton calls a brief recess, and Tom leans over to whisper in my ear. "How does it feel to be vindicated?" "It feels like justice," I reply. When court resumes, Judge Thornton delivers her ruling with the efficiency of someone who's seen too many cases like this one. Based on the evidence presented, I find that Mrs. Patterson has engaged in fraud, perjury, and conspiracy to deprive her husband of his rightful property. Her petition for divorce is granted, but her requests for alimony, property division, and attorney's fees are denied. The gavel comes down like a gunshot. "Furthermore," the judge continues, "I'm ordering Mrs. Patterson to pay Mr. Patterson's legal fees and court costs, and I'm referring this case to the State Bar Association for investigation into possible ethics violations." Jenna's legal career, built over 15 years of hard work, dies in that moment. Outside the courthouse, Rick confronts me on the steps. "You think you've won?" he snarls. "I know I have." "This isn't over, Patterson. I'll make sure you pay for what you've done to my sister." "Your sister did this to herself? You just helped." Tom puts a hand on my arm. "Miles, let's go. Don't give him any ammunition." But I'm not done with Rick Hartwell yet. "You want to know what's really going to happen now?" I tell him. "I'm going to rebuild my life. I'm going to repair the friendships your sister tried to destroy. And I'm going to make sure everyone in this town knows exactly what kind of people you are." "You're nobody," Rick spits. "A pathetic little accountant who got lucky." "Maybe, but this pathetic little accountant just beat you at your own game." I walk away, leaving Rick standing on the courthouse steps with his ruined sister and their shattered conspiracy. 6 months later, I'm sitting on my back deck, watching the sunset over the lake. The house is mine, free and clear. Jenna moved in with Rick after losing her job, and Eddie Morrison's car lot went out of business when word got around about his role in the scheme. Dave Peterson called me last week to apologize. He'd heard the full story from Tom Bradley's wife, who works at the courthouse. We're planning a fishing trip next month, our first in over a year. Janet from next door brought me cookies yesterday and sheepishly admitted that she'd been manipulated by Jenna's lies. We're back to being friendly neighbors. Even some of the people from that disastrous barbecue have reached out to make amends. It turns out that when the truth comes to light, most people have the decency to admit their mistakes. My phone buzzes with a text message from an unknown number. "You destroyed my family." I screenshot the message and forward it to Tom Bradley, just like I did with the first threatening text. Then I block the number and delete the message. Some people never learn. I take a sip of my beer and watch a pair of ducks glide across the water. The evening is peaceful, quiet, perfect. This is my house, my life, my victory. Jenna thought she could manipulate and deceive her way to everything she wanted. She thought I was too weak, too trusting, too stupid to fight back. She was wrong about all of it. The sun disappears below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. I raise my beer in a silent toast to my own resilience, to the power of truth, and to the sweet satisfaction of justice served cold. Tomorrow, I'll start the next chapter of my life. But tonight, I'm going to sit here and enjoy the victory that nobody thought I could achieve. Sometimes the good guy wins, sometimes justice prevails, sometimes the underdog gets to have the last laugh. Tonight is one of those times.